Hello YouTube. I was wandering around Mumsnet and found this little pickle, so I did the only reasonable thing and made a recording so I could share it with you. Am I being unreasonable to be annoyed that the in-laws want to come on our romantic weekend away? No money, no sex and no time. This isn't how most people picture parenthood to be with the person that they love. But I found a lovely article with parents.com about how to help alleviate the issues you might face after you've started a family. Obviously, a common theme here is that couple time is now family time. You're always together, but no longer alone, whether you've been together for years or you've recently met and decided to have a baby quickly. Jumping from a twosome to a family is challenging, and in this story I think it's even more challenging because the respite this couple believed that they would have for a weekend in the parents-in-law, well, they turned out to be a part of this time being family time and not couple time as well. Have a listen and see what you think. Here's the original post by Not You Again. So we live about an hour away from our in-laws, so we don't ask for much childcare, just the odd overnight every few months. The sister and brother-in-law use grandparents as childcare all the time. Their son goes there 3 or 4 times a week and they have him overnight most weekends. My in-laws also own a seaside cottage a couple of hours away. My husband and I really wanted a weekend away and saw tickets to a show, the venue being near the cottage. We asked the in-laws to have our daughter for 2 nights so husband and I could have a couple of nights away to go to the show. They agreed. But then mother-in-law said they would come to the cottage with us. So our romantic weekend away is now a weekend away with the in-laws and daughter. And they will babysit while our daughter is in bed. From past experience, they won't even get up in the morning with her. It annoys me more, I think, because of how much they do for the sister and brother-in-law. But I don't feel we can ask them not to come because it's their cottage. Am I being unreasonable to be annoyed at losing our weekend away? Well, to me that sounds totally devastating, absolutely disappointing, but let's see what other people think. Stay somewhere else and let them have your daughter at the cottage. Get your husband to ring them and say he planned for a romantic break and wants to surprise you with flowers and champagne, so please will they let you go alone and keep it a secret? Can you book a hotel near the cottage for the night of the event? I'd do that. Or just be clear that you'd really hoped for a short break, just the two of you. That is so bad. Have you tried saying to them, actually, you were hoping for some much needed time on your own as a couple, and would they mind babysitting at their place instead? You're not being unreasonable, but in these circumstances, I wouldn't ask to borrow the cottage from them. As you say, you can't ask them not to come. Could you find a nice Airbnb instead, or a Premier Inn? Potted Palm adds, you sound rather ungrateful to me. Another Emma adds, if they don't have your daughter very often, perhaps 2 nights is too much for them. Of course it's unfair if they have their other grandson much more often, but nothing you can do about that. I'd suggest your husband talks to them and explains that the two of you were hoping for some child-free time, but if 2 nights are too much, then you could just stick to 1 night. Maybe you could get a hotel or B&B near to the venue for a night, join the in-laws and your daughter at the cottage for the other night. Maybe you should have worded your request to use the holiday cottage better. Had you perhaps said, we're thinking of having a romantic weekend for just the two of us at the cottage and such a weekend. Would that be okay? Then if they agreed, you could have asked if they would be willing to babysit little one while you were gone. Just a thought. Yeah, but that's like woulda, coulda, shoulda, isn't it? Autumn Leaves 21 adds, OP, you are not being unreasonable. People will come along to tell you you're a cheeky cow for borrowing, to be honest, with the cottage, and heaven forbid that a child's grandparents should ever look after the child for a night. But in real life, that's what families do, and couple time is really important. Good luck. At the very least, can you ring and tell them that what you were looking forward to was the romantic weekend alone? I mean, maybe they're trying to get away from the other grandchild or brother and sister-in-law for the weekend by getting away, though. I mean, your husband ring, not you. Stay somewhere else and pay for it. Could you book somewhere nearby? Your husband needs to sort this out now. Do you think that they are trying to get out of babysitting or just want to spend some time with you? If it's the latter, you might need a different approach. I'd say you were hoping to have a weekend away kid-free, so if they were still okay to have the kids, you'd book a B&B instead for you and your husband to stay in. I don't think I could be that polite to someone who just invited themselves to my weekend away. In response to the idea to get the husband to ring and say he'd planned a romantic break and for them to keep it secret, Holly60 replies, "This is a genius idea. Even better, get him to call her and say, 'Mum, I've just had an idea, blah, blah, blah. What do you think?' Do you think she'll like it? She'll bloody love being in on the surprise. I know because I have an adult son." Here are some different opinions. They aren't really being unreasonable to go to their own cottage. I think the booking hotel option is a good one. And Emma85 says, "I never understand posts like this. Why on earth did you or your husband not say anything in reply to them? There's no need to drag it out or add confusion, as now they probably think you're happy with it, and you've changed your mind if you say anything." Yeah, that's true. I think it's the babysitting, to be honest. My daughter is older than my nephew, though, and easier. I think that they do that much for their daughter that they don't have much energy to help us. They will probably bring their grandson so we can help with him. Elder Sis adds, "I would play dumb and completely embarrass them. Leave them a message. 'Hi, it's just me. We were hoping to recreate our wedding night, romance and sexy stuff. Are you sure you want to be there for this? Just let me know if we need to book elsewhere.' I've had years to formulate answers like this, having had my mum-in-law arriving at 6 a.m, having cut a key, on the day after our wedding to cook us breakfast. I didn't stand up to her then, and it just got worse." Oh my word, that's awful. Really awful. Why would anybody think that they were welcome the day after you were married? Oh my God, that's terrible. OP replies, "Thanks for the replies. I agree. It would have been easier to say something at the time. It just took us by surprise, and plus we don't want to hurt their feelings, and they are doing us a favour, and it is their cottage. I might get husband to say about romantic plans, though." Wow, so they agreed to look after your daughter, but your brother-in-law would also expect them to have his son at the weekend as well, despite them having their grandson most weekends. Is that correct? Yeah, a few times we have arranged to see them, and they bring their grandson. Obviously, we love to see him. He's only 2 and a lot harder work. Freddie Fox suggests, just speak to them. Tell them that you were planning some time alone. They aren't mind readers. You moan that they do lots for the brother-in-law all the time, but do you ask them for help? The reply is yes. We don't ask loads, as we know they have a grandchild a lot, plus 2 hours round trip. They always want us to bring the daughter to them. When we ask, they generally do it, although they moan that they never have time to themselves, which is true, but not due to us. We don't need to ask a lot, but I guess I feel because we don't take the pee, they should be okay with it. And if they aren't, they should be telling the sister-in-law before us. Hello, Dulling adds, it sounds like you resent the unfair allocation of childcare. You choose to live farther from your in-laws. I'm sure if you lived closer, they would do the same for you. On the overnight front, does your daughter ever go for sleepovers? Start arranging those, and you can go out while she's staying at a friend's house. OP replies, I do resent it. I know it's unreasonable. Never done sleepovers either way. Not sure when's a good age to start. We do want her to have quality time with the grandparents and be close to them. She notices that they take their grandson out a lot, and we don't want her to feel left out. And now on to the second story, which I think is quite hilarious. Am I being unreasonable to think a guy who I am dating and is an artist wants to paint me? Let's see if your mind goes in the same direction as other people's here. Is it weird or some sort of paint fetish? And here come the wonderful responses. Does he want to paint a picture of you or use you as a canvas? What? Paint a picture of you or cover your actual body with paint? Is he any good? If I liked his work and trusted him, then I'd probably be quite flattered. He's probably just trying to impress you. And here they come. He wants to paint me, like one of his French girls. God damn it, I came here to say that. Is he called Jack? Are you currently enjoying a cruise with your mum and abusive fiancé? If she is, being painted is about to be the least of her problems. Is he going to slop paint all over you, then get you to jump headlong into a canvas? Do that really cool camouflage body painting where you disappear into a background? Does he stick his tongue out of the corner of his mouth while he paints? I think it means he's an artist. Unless he wants to use your body as a canvas, then do it if you want, or don't if you don't. Are you a one-legged prostitute with beautiful hands? OP replies he wants to paint a portrait of me. These are too funny. Ooh la la! If he can teach you how to spit like a man, you're in there. Let us know how the steamy car sex goes. Oh, so funny. Blue Moon 39 asks, is he any good at painting, I mean? My husband is always asking to paint me, but his paintings are pretty crap, and I'm sure I'll be devastated at the result. Oh no. And Ickleboo says, I don't see the harm unless he's really rubbish and makes you look like this. And then you'll have to pretend you like it. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, people, because it's just brilliant. And I hope you have a great day. Leave your messages in the chat below, and I'll see you around the internet soon.